listeners, and welcome back to Bougainville Parliament TV. Today being Wednesday, the 17th of December 2025, and we bring you the second day of the Bougainville Parliament sitting this morning here at the Kubu Parliament House. Um, on behalf of the team, Lynn Gegera and the crew here, we welcome you to this second day coverage of the Bougainville Parliament sitting this morning. Good morning through all manna Mary, one happy Auckland stop in tune long harim na lukim this la Bougainville Parliament sitting Bloyumi, tete Wednesday number 17 day Blomun December 2025. This number 2 sitting blong tete emi bin start aste na displa 2 emi final sitting blon displa iya na yes time mi emi stapol sem 17 minutes ya brusim 10 o'clock na pastem deputy speaker Honorable Rose P. been come in, but he been not got quorum. Na emi been go out ken, but you may got quorum. So by me joining all back inside long chambers.
Kingdom come. As we forgive those who trespass against us, but deliver us from evil. Thine is the power and the glory. Amen. Honorable members, you may be seated. Honorable members, I have notice of leave of absence to give. Honorable members, Honorable William Matthew, Minister for Police and Corrective Services and member for Wisai constituency, who is unable to attend the sitting because he has accompanied the body of late Police Inspector John Popui to Buin. He is seeking leave of absence for the duration of the meeting. Is leave granted? Leave is granted. Honorable members, I have announcement to make this morning. Honorable members, I want to make a statement this morning. I would like to take this time to inform the House on the death of former member of the House of Representatives, the late Mr. Melchior Dare, who passed away on Tuesday, 9 December 2025. On behalf of the Speaker and myself as the Deputy Speaker, and on behalf of you all and the House, I would like to express this House deepest condolences to the immediate family and relatives and people of Evo Torau on the passing of the late Mr. Melchior Dare. Mr. Melchior Dare was a member for Evo Torau constituency from 2010 to 2015. During the height of the Bougainville crisis, he dedicated his life as a health worker and trained in the BRA controlled area. He served as the HIV AIDS coordinator in Bougainville after the conflict, and he also served as the HIV AIDS advisor to the then Deputy Speaker, Honorable Francis Casemoso, in the first House. During his term in the second House, he also served as the Minister for Community Development in the Momis Nisra-led government. As the former member for Evo Torau, Mr. May contributed immensely on issues concerning downstream processing of agricultural commodities, capital of the autonomous region of Bougainville, and gender violence against women and girls of Bougainville. That his record of service to the autonomous Bougainville government and Bougainville as a whole, and the statement be incorporated in the handset. Honorable members, let's stand in silence in respect of former member Melchior Dare for 2 minutes. You may now be seated. Clerk, are there any bills?
Madam Deputy Speaker, there are no bills.
Clerk, are there any petitions?
Madam Deputy Speaker, no petitions have been received.
Clerk, are there any committee reports?
Madam Deputy Speaker, no reports from committees have been received. Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker.
At this time, I call on the President to make his statement. Mr. President.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. As I rise today to present my presidential statement to this Honorable House on the outcomes of a recent joint supervisory body consultations, the agreed political pathway and the Melanesian Agreement principles, and my government's priorities as we continue to prepare Bougainville to be independence ready. Madam Deputy Speaker, I am delivering this statement during this final sitting of this House for 25 parliamentary year, a moment that invites both reflection, renewed resolve as we approach the critical period leading September 2027. Madam Deputy Speaker, the Joint Supervisory Body remains the highest consultative mechanism between the Autonomous Bougainville Government and the Government of Papua New Guinea under Bougainville Peace Agreement. Recent JSB meetings have reaffirmed the commitment of both parties to progress the outstanding political process in good faith, consistent with the spirit and the letter of our jointly endorsed agreements. At the JSB, the parties reaffirmed the shared responsibility to advance discussions under the Melanesian Agreement, recognizing that the framework provides a cultural grounded, Melanesian-led pathway for resolving the post-referendum political settlement. In this regard, Madam Deputy Speaker, I wish to place on record on the key principles and commitments agreed between the parties. The parties committed to exploring the joint creation of a Melanesian Agreement framework with clearly agreed timelines that outline a credible pathway forward. This framework may form part of the joint consultation report to be presented in the 11th National Parliament of Papua New Guinea. The results of the Bougainville referendum, together with the joint consultation report, will be taken to the 11th National Parliament early next year for ratification. The Parliament will ratify the referendum result and commit to further consultations if required and mutually agreed according to an agreed time-bound process. The parties jointly commit to institutional strengthenings and institutional building of the Autonomous Bougainville Government administration in time with the SHAP agreement, recognizing that strong institutions are essential for effective self-government and future statehood. To ensure sustained progress and political commitments, monitoring of the Melanesian Agreement may include an international component as the parliamentary component with the support of the United Nations. Madam Deputy Speaker, these commitments reflect Bougainville's consistent position. As we act in good faith, we honor the Bougainville Peace Agreement, and we pursue our political future through dialogue, mutual respect, and Melanesian values. Madam Deputy Speaker, I reaffirm to this House and to our people that the autonomous Bougainville government remains steadfast in its commitment to the democratic choice expressed by our people in the 2019 referendum. We welcome the assurance provided at the JSB that the referendum results will be presented to the National Parliament within the agreed parliamentary time frame. Bougainville and its leaders will continue to honor their obligations and remain ready to engage constructively at every stage of the process. Our approach has no hidden agenda. It is anchored in law, guided by the Bougainville Peace Agreement, and endorsed by the Papua New Guinea National Constitution through the amendment of Part 14 of the Constitution that sanctioned Bougainville, and driven by a clear mandate of our people through referendum result, which is independence. Madam Deputy Speaker, political independence must be underpinned by economic strength. Independence is a central priority of my government, and that this requires deliberate economic springboard to reduce fiscal reliance and strengthen Bougainville's own source revenue base. We are pursuing a diversified economic strategy that prioritizes responsibilities, resource development, agriculture, fisheries, renewable energy, and downstream value adding, whilst ensuring that the social, environmental, and cultural safeguards remain paramount. All economic departments are required to align their policies and programs within the President's priorities. In this context, Madam Deputy Speaker, I wish to inform this House that the recent memorandum signed by Lloyds Metals, which is designed to support Bougainville's social and community development priorities alongside broader economic objectives. This partnership reflects our approach on aligning private sector engagement with community benefit, local participation, and long-term ABG's interests. Madam Deputy Speaker, at this juncture, my government continues to strengthen public financial management to improve revenue, administration, and invest in institutional capabilities so that Bougainville is fiscally prepared to assume the full responsibilities of self-government. Madam Deputy Speaker, as we approach the September 2027 independence readiness, we must not be seen as the responsibility of an executive arm alone. Every member of this House has a duty to ensure that their constituency is socially, economically, and institutionally prepared. I therefore call on all members to work closely with the community governments, churches, women's group, youth leaders, and the private sector to prioritize local economic development and livelihoods, community infrastructure and basic services, human capital development, and particularly for women and youth, good governance, transparency, and social cohesion. Independence readiness begins at the village level, as we all know. When our communities are strong, Bougainville will be much stronger. Madam Deputy Speaker, as we move forward steadily towards the political milestones ahead, I wish to remind this Honorable House that the political independence, while history is not just conclusion of our journey. The Bougainville Nation Building Strategy provides for an overarching framework that must be guided us beyond political independence and ensuring statehood. Madam Deputy Speaker, aligned with the Bougainville 2052 vision and our independence readiness benchmarks, nation building requires strong institutions over strong individuals, economic sovereignty through fiscal self-reliance, and development that is rooted in our communities, constituencies, and our people. It demands ethical leadership, disciplined governance, social cohesion, and deliberate investment in capital, particularly women and youth, so that independence is not just merely declared, but sustained. Our Christian values, Melanesian identity, and customary systems must continue to anchor our governance, whilst partnering and investing must serve Bougainville's long-term national interest. Madam Deputy Speaker, independence may define our status, but nation building will define our success, not only for 2027, but for Bougainville 2052 and beyond. Madam Deputy Speaker, as this final parliamentary sitting for 2025, I take this opportunity on behalf of my department and my family to extend my sincere appreciation to all members to this Honorable House for your service to our people. In conclusion, I wish to extend warm seasonal greetings to you, Madam Deputy Speaker, honorable members, and to all Bougainvilleans at home or abroad. May this season be one of the time of reflection, reconciliation, and renewed commitment to the future we are building together. Let us enter 2026 and united in purpose, discipline in leadership, and resolute in our determination to make Bougainville truly independence ready in all fronts. May God continue to guide this House, and may God bless Bougainville. Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year to you all. Let's continue to strive for peace through peaceful means. Madam Deputy Speaker, I commend this statement to the House. Thank you.
Honorable members, I call on the Leader of Government Business.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. Madam Deputy Speaker, I think the statement of the President is not circulated. So I think it would be easier for the members to refer to the statement and debate the statement. So maybe, Madam Speaker, maybe we will need time for the parliamentary services to do a print, because they provided them only one copy. So they can do the print and circulate the statement to the members, and then the members, while looking at the statement, can be able to debate the statement well. Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move that we take note and refer this statement until, in the later hours of the day. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honorable members, the question is that the motion be agreed to. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those against say no. Ayes have it. Government business. Honorable members, are there any ministerial statements? Honorable Minister for DPI, please make your statement.
Madam Speaker, I rise to present this ministerial statement to update the Honorable House on the performance, priorities, and challenges of the Department of Primary Industry. This update is to provide, in line with the constitutional responsibilities, Bougainville Peace Agreement, and the ongoing drawdown of agriculture, livestock, forestry, and functions of the autonomous Bougainville government. Introduction. Mr. Speaker, Madam Speaker, I thank you for the opportunity to update the Honorable House on the status, progress, and challenges of the Department of Primary Industry. This statement outlines the key policy legislative developments, institutional arrangements, programs, implementation status, financial performance, and priority actions requiring the attention of this House and the Bougainville Executive Council. To key submissions to BEC, the following matters have been prepared or are under consideration for submission to the Bougainville Executive Council. Policy and legislation development, which includes the endorsement of the Agriculture Master Plan and the Bougainville Livestock Policy, and both relevant acts. Establishment of the Livestock Directorate, civic education initiatives related to agriculture and livestock reforms. 3, policy and legislation development, autonomy and powers drawdown context. Mr. Speaker, Madam Speaker, DPI is progressing several critical policies and legislation instruments requiring strengthening governance of the agriculture and livestock sector. These instruments are essential to operationalize Bougainville's autonomy, supporting drawdown of agriculture and livestock powers, and enabling ABG to independently regulate, develop, and grow the sector. However, limited funding and institutional capacity remains the major constraint. Policy and plans under development. Draft Agriculture Master Plan pending valuation and endorsement by BEC. Draft Bougainville Livestock Policy pending valuation and approval for BEC. Agriculture Administrative Act and Livestock Act to be enacted following the policy approval. Bougainville Commodity Strategy Action Plan, 10-year plan, Extensive Policy, Agriculture Research and Development Plan, Bougainville Forest Development Policy, Bougainville Forest Act. Existing approved policies and plans, DPI Corporate Plan 2023-2027, Bougainville Food Security Policy 2023-2030, Bougainville Food Security Strategy Action Plan 2023-2027, Backward Transition Plan. Memorandum of Agreements, MOAs, entered into Cocoa Board of PNG 31st July 2025, Department of Agriculture 31st July 2027, PNG Forest Authority 1st September 2025. Institutional and organizational status, current department status. The DPI organizational status consists of 4 units, excluding fisheries.
Okay, we've got a unit and approved positions. Officer of Secretary, approved positions 13, occupied and 3, vacant 10, castle 1. Corporate services, we've got 10, occupied 4, vacant 6, castle 3. Agriculture and livestock, 87, all approved positions. We've got occupied positions currently 17, vacant 70 positions, 7 castle. Forestry climate change, 13, occupied currently 4, vacant 9, castle 0. So total of 138 positions with the department, occupied 28, vacant 110, castles 11. Human resource capacity summary table above 4. Madam Speaker, table 4 highlights the critical constraint facing the Department of Primary Industry with only 28 out of 138 approved positions currently filled. This severe human resource gap significantly limits the department's ability to plan, implement, monitor, and scale priority agriculture, livestock, and forestry programs across Bougainville. The absence of the adequate technical extension and the administrative staff directly affects service delivery to farmers, low programs, executions, and weakens the government's capacity to translate policy and budget allocation to tangible economic outcomes. Madam Speaker, if Bougainville is to progress towards economic independence and self-reliance, the strengthening of human capital within DPI must be treated as a strategic priority. Investment in skilled personnel is essential for driving productivity, supporting private sector's growth, and ensuring that the agriculture fulfills its role as a foundation of Bougainville's emerging economy. Madam Speaker, only 28 out of 138 approved positions are filled, indicating the survey manpower gap affecting the service delivery. Status of the key programs, livestock. Bougainville currently relies on the imported frozen chicken, meat, and eggs from the mainland PNG, with annual imports worth over 121 million kina. Local supply is insufficient, leaving supermarkets and retailers out of stock for insufficient period each month. The demand of poultry meat alone is estimated at 12,000 tons per year, valued at 240 million kina, with table eggs demanding at 216,000 dozens, worth 4.23 million kina annually. This highlights an urgent need for autonomous Bougainville government to invest in developing a local poultry industry to reduce imports, retain revenue within the economy, and meet growing consumers' demand. A draft livestock policy is already prepared but requires valuation to guide implementation. To address this, a poultry hatchery and a breeder farm project is proposed with a total development of 2.4 million. The project, led by North Bougainville Women's Investment Limited with technical support of Better Chicks New Zealand, aims to produce 10,000 day-old chicks weekly, eventually supplying the entire region. Covering the annual demand of 12,000 tons of chicken meat. The project also includes establishing breeder farms, operational facilities, and training programs. Expected outcome including the creation of sustainable poultry value chain, reintention of over 240 million annually in local revenue, and in subsequent growth for the Bougainville's livestock industry. Funding options include supporting initial breeder farm operations, completion the Buka hatchery and the breeder farm, and the validating of the livestock policy. Madam Speaker, rice consumption in Bougainville continues to rise, with import estimated over 10,000 tons annually, representing the significant outflow of the cash from the local economy. Despite favorable soil and climate conditions, domestic rice production remains very limited due to weak infrastructure, low mechanization, inadequate milling capacity, and under-resourced extension services. This dependency on imports presents both the challenges and the strategic option for Bougainville. The department proposed semi-commercial rice development approach, beginning with a 60-hectare pilot across the 3 regions, aims to progressively reduce import dependency, strengthen farmers' capacity, and stimulate local agro-processing and employment. Madam Speaker, investment in rice development is not only about food security, it is about retaining wealth within Bougainville, building productive rural industry, and advancing economic self-reliance is a foundation for nation building. Cocoa and coconut plantation rehabilitation proposal. Madam Speaker, the Department of Primary Industry has developed a proposal to rehabilitate existing cocoa and coconut plantations, particularly those affected by the senile planting and prolonged neglect. Following the Bougainville crisis, cocoa and coconut remains Bougainville's most important export commodities, yet productivity has declined significantly due to aging trees, abandoning plantations, and limited reinvestment. Rehabilitation, rather than full replanting, offers a cost-effective and a faster pathway to restoring production and increasing export volume. The proposed rehabilitation program focuses on improving yields through targeted pruning, infilling with improved planting materials, nursery development, farmer trainings, and strengthening post-harvest processing and value added. Madam Speaker, this initiative is aimed at increasing household incomes, expanding export revenue, and generating an economic self-reliance investment in cocoa and coconut rehabilitation. Therefore, a strategic intervention in rebuilding Bougainville economy and laying the foundation of a long-term nation building. Forestry Directorate. Madam Speaker, the effectiveness of the Forestry Directorate is significantly constrained by several human resource shortage across the technical, regulatory, and field extension functions. While forestry has strong potential to contribute to sustainable livelihood, climate resilience, and export revenue, limited staffing capacity restricts the Directorate's ability to implement programs, enforce standards, and support community-based forestry initiatives. Strengthening the Forestry Directorate through targeted recruitment, skills development, and operational support is essential if the sector is to contribute meaningfully to the economic independence and the long-term nation building. Without the adequate human resource, forestry development opportunities will remain underutilized, and the government's broader economic objectives will be delayed. On a positive note, with the recent signing of the Memorandum of Agreement with PNG Forest Authority in September provides a long-awaited pathway for the drawdown of specific power and functions with capacity building and construction of the first office complex early 2026, as well as funding support. 6, financial performance summary. DPI recruitment budget 2025 and conditional grants. We can see the Minister of Primary Industry, the appropriation of 100,000, CFC Authority 51, expenditure 47,732, funds available 3,220.68. So yeah. Office of the Secretary 400,000 appropriation, CFC 247,100, expenditure 180,290.45 toya. Funds available for 64,805.55. Agriculture, livestock, not headquarter, 150,000 CFC, 70,000, expenditure 31,307 toya. Funds available 38,646.93 toya. Livestock on districts 260, CFC 87,000, expenditure 77,000, funds available 10,000. Forestry climate change 150,000, 70,000 CFC, expenditure 47,549.17. Funds available 22,450.83. Total 1,060,000. CFC we got 525,100. Expenditure 385,975. 139,124.99 toya. Projects Livestock Development Program appropriate 200,000. CSF and NOGAT expenditure funds available 200,000. Backward Development Program 400,000. We've got 400,000 available. Governance Policy, Bougainville Food Security 500,000. 500,000 funds available. Governance Policy 300,000. We got 300,000. So the total of 400,000, 4,400,000 funds available. For 2024 development budget reappropriation, livestock development appropriation 119,898. Backward development 152,797. Bougainville Food Security 709,006. So this is the table. Financial performance summary. Madam Speaker, the financial data presented in tables 6.1, 6.2, and 6.3 clearly shows that while the Honorable House has appropriate funds for both recurrent and development programs, the timely release and accessible of those funds remains a major challenge. Delays of CFC, warrant, and financial processing has resulted in low utilization of approved development budget, particularly for priority progress for food security, livestock development, cocoa rehabilitation, and institutional strengthening. These constraints are not a reflection of lack of demand of readiness, but rather the need to strengthen financial system, cash flow, planning, and approval process. Madam Speaker, strengthening this system is critical to ensuring that funds are made available on time for priority programs to be executed, enabling agriculture to effectively contribute to economic growth, rural livelihood, and private sector confidence. If Bougainville is to build a resilient economy and lay the foundation of nationhood, this government must ensure predictable, timely, and increased investment in agriculture and agro-business and industry. Agriculture remains the most inclusive economic sector and must be treated as a strategic investment in Bougainville's future, not merely on operational expense. 7 districts level operations. Madam Speaker, DPI officers at the district level continues to provide extensive services despite insufficient constraints, and the major challenges include limited logistic support, inadequate staffing, and insufficient operational funding. Key challenges: challenge of district-based officers, limited transport and field mobility, inadequate tools and extensive materials, assets and logistics. 5 vehicles has been tendered. Only 1 district vehicle is currently available for extension services. Several shortage of tools, equipment, and operational resources continues to impact the service delivery. Key risk areas: human resource shortage, delay of programs and implementation due to funding constraints, weak logistic and asset support, emerging biosecurity and climate-related risks, strategic and policies recommendations for the Cabinet and the Parliament. Madam Speaker, I respectfully submit the following strategic and the policy recommendation for the consideration of the Honorable House and the Bougainville Executive Council. Immediate actions required: fast-track validation and approve the outstanding agriculture livestock policy, prioritize enact of the Agriculture Administrative Act and the Livestock Act, strengthening DPI staffing through urgent recruitment and deployment, release CFC warrant for approval development projects, improve logistic and mobility support to district extension officers. Based on these priorities, establish a livestock directorate, secure BCC endorsement of Agriculture Master Plan, reactivate key development programs, particularly food security, rice and livestock initiatives, rehabilitation program of plantations to smallholder farmers, secure support and establish of a commodity export company, consultation done with IPA, NACIA, and customs. Establish breeding for day-old chicks, establish rice farming in Kili and Metonai. Conclusion, Madam Speaker, agriculture remains the backbone of Bougainville, rural economy, food security, strengthening DPI through policy reform, institutional development, and adequate resourcing, and critical realizing of the goals of autonomy, economic self-reliance, and inclusive rural development. With the support of the Honorable House and the Bougainville Executive Council, the Department of Primary Industry stands ready to fully assume the powers and the responsibilities to deliver tangible outcome of our farmers, livestock producers, and rural community across the Bougainville. Thank you. I commend the statement to the Honorable House. Thank you.
Honorable members, I call on the Leader of Government Business. Honorable members, the Leader of Government Business has moved the motion for the House to take note of the statement. The statement is open for debate, so you may rise and speak on the statement. Honorable Member for Hagogohe.
Okay, thank you, Madam Speaker. Me sanap long speak in support long ministerial statement long Minister long DPI the long morning. Thank you so much, Minister, for the very comprehensive ministerial statement to inform this honorable House and of course our very wonderful people of Bougainville. We like to also that statement is very important, and especially long time you walk about raising wealth, Bluyumi lo Bougainville, and of course to sustain dream and Bluyumi lo big lo walk about Bluyumi lo independence. I think President's whole statement I mean outline in plenty good plus something to tell morning, long activities Bluyumi. So all our economic departments Bluyumi within long ABG. You must come up with a plan on how you can raise him wealth, you sustain him big walk about inside Bougainville. And I think that time is not an essence for us, long this economic department. That's involving the whole lot of us as well. So, Minister, thank you. You outlined in plenty of projects, and we must come up here. Your speech was very colorful as well. You meet the tail morning because one plus something me realize him. Bougainville today, we're getting a lot of containers of freezer goods coming out from Lake and also Port Moresby, especially when we are dealing with chickens. Why do we have to get it out from Lake or Moresby now bring it become here? Bougainville has got a lot of land. We should start negotiating with landowners. Use him some poultry farm, cattle farm, and here we can go. Raising wealth, here. So, me like him, this thing, come up him, chicken farm or poultry farm, here, cattle farm. We need to realize it very quickly. This statement, all officers, department has been coming into this honorable House. We are talking about cattle farm, we are talking about poultry, we are talking about rice farming, and nothing is happening. We must talk also lo brief outline lo you long side lo using up money lo you lo DPA. This is the first time one department is coming in lo briefing this honorable House on how much money that you are using long all the year and how much money you are having as well. Lo balance annual statement lo you me financial statement lo you me long this year. But me like him instead of all this thing you come up in Minister Tetelo morning, please. Let's actualize those and it becomes a reality for this government to raise wealth and of course for the people of Bougainville. Me talk again, we have a lot of land sitting idle. You may utilize him this lagi round. Talk long rehabilitation of plantation you may, let's do it. A lot of plantations today, they are aging. We need to go replanting, rehabilitation, also plantations, creating more wealth you may inside the region together. So, Minister, me got big hamamas, long big talk you make him, and I know that, former government you me too, you may encourage him cooperative societies, settings you me, constituencies you me. So, the Nisira, Torama government, last government you me, they've set aside 200,000 kina, long Department of Commerce. Trade and Industry. Minister, please take note of this layer. Some of the members, they've actually got a bit of that money, long this 200,000, sample no kiss him. So me like ask him strong. You to play Minister one time, the Minister of Commerce and Trade. You must progress him yet. All this outstanding constituencies because it promotes wealth creation. SMEs, cooperative societies, constituency settings. So, Minister, me like him, this must come up. Now, members, can access him outstanding long all. Or not probably access him finish, or you're right. But long sample members that are not accessible 200,000 long. Let it happen for other constituencies as well, so that indirectly we're raising wealth throughout long SMEs below Yumi. Me talk this Minister, because SME is my priority in my constituency. And I've graduated 200 mamas, or table mamas below me, 200 of them, location loan belong mama bank. For 2,000 kina each, long growing wealth indirectly long constituencies below me. So I'm also, we work come up in cooperative society, long Lukate Municipal Mama. So this is the sort of activities you must ready. Long constituencies below you. So each constituencies, remember, you must ready one time activity below you. And I'd like to say this because as the chairman long Independence Committee, all of the constituencies below you should be prepared long activities. Economic activities or NARPLA activities work come up before you declare your constituencies independence ready. All the activities you must come up in is sustaining wealth, not to come up in good percent down long constituencies below you. So, Minister, we like to also thank you so much. Thank you, briefing me to cash flow department below you. This is the first time we had him. One Prime Minister come one time brief him house. Cash flow department belong any work come up also one, and we know that you have 4 million long ending financial year below you is still sitting there. So maybe next year you may go ahead and say 4 million come up him or poultry farm below you raise him or lick or chickens below you and then we can supply it will be like Illinois farm. You may supply him long man or grow him now you may go back now you may buy him now you become slaughter him all and we do our own packaging. It's the pride of Bougainville to be having our own packaged chickens. Now you may sell him long narplahab. So that's the dream we're having today. So I think one time this la, me not plenty talk, but Minister me like him that's all. All officers below you, they get into action. They get into action because I've been sitting here since 2005. This is the same statement that is coming in. Lo house below you, lo talk, lo poultry farm, cattle farm, all this rice farm, and it's not happening. So maybe in this time around, in this fifth house, I want to see, and all of us, we want to see that these activities are coming on board to raise wealth for this country, the new nation of the Republic of North Solomons. I think one time, Madam Speaker, let me take this opportunity on behalf of my very wonderful people of Hagway constituency to wish you all a Merry Christmas and a happy, prosperous 2026. Take care and stay safe in these New Year's celebrations. Thank you. So this plan, you want to impact projects where people of Bougainville can benefit more long them. Suppose we got downstream processing plant and we stop Bougainville. We are the #1 producer of cocoa in Papua New Guinea. Let me say this. Back right now, and underneath the department of you, get them to do these things. People of Bougainville supposed to stop you too. In Nogat, stop you looking for field. You come sitting on farmers no place. Or district staff, where are they? Only based on one half. So district from your sell us will. You know, you can district officer staff up. Farmers only work only yet. How they mix in marasin, no spray, no akablo, it's on their own business, like no. You mean, say, I'm straight to no gato. You know that money talking about this is how you mix in this marasin and pruning kakablo or send what not. Honorable Deputy Speaker. Statement time, you will plan your good or something. At the same time, like a minister put in good, plan the challenges. We need to go beyond these challenges. Maybe some of these challenges, you can probably attempt to walk over them. But suppose you sleep one time, and by sleep, the next time minister come, same information will appear again. Like Honorable Minister of Law, member of Lagoga Tokyo. Let's do something. You be supporting government, you be supporting President of Dream and long all work for economic development. And DPI, na commerce, na honorable economic line departments. And all front lines lo display work lo development lo economic lo reaching lo. So Honorable Minister, you go back to the department, we're not talking about. We will like him downstream processing plant lo cocoa inside lo Bougainville. You know, can talk to the Cocoa Festival, na kam na talk to the Karim Poti, kam na swim, na pem blong one. Well, look, lo pota na pota, will give me one. Let's look at the real issue of this commodity. You will be starting this cocoa for donkey years. You know what will play this type of Bougainville. I think now it's the time. You must send him scope lo look lo gaman. Do something about this. Now let's go downstream processing of cocoa Bougainville and we raise revenue of Logaman Bloimi. You will cry no revenue, but we are not doing anything. You must make something long addressing this issue of shortfall or revenue. Suppose we continue to talk nothing. Sorry, straight. But we stop us and that's all. Some comment blom look, stop you. Look, this issues, this committee, we got finished. When we talk about new committee come inside, or another plan come inside, this committee stop, plant the yes finish. I think one time this so talk me to me like this time long. I wish him President Executive Council, honorable members, Madam Deputy Speaker, Speaker and our staff of Parliamentary Services, long good time on behalf of the family of people of the Sui constituency. People wish we blog it. Good Hamas for Christmas. Na new player bring him Belisi. Na maybe some senis lo work long gaman lo imilo next year. Thank you. Na God bless me. Thank you, straight.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. May two mila contribute the click long Minister statement long Minister of DPI. Thank you, Minister of DPI, lo presenting this la paper. Work the demand and work isabe putting money lo pocket long all man Mary lo place. It is not any other industry that you might think of. No. It is through primary industries, livestock. Look at him kakaruk, look at him pig. Thank you, Minister. Long you highlight him all challenges belong department. One plus something me pick him up lo statement belong minister is how can you have 28 officers running this department? This is impossible. Masinya no full. Ordinary parts flow, this is something, fire. And we expect it to move. It is not that way. The department is not fully staffed. We will keep on talking and talking until the cows come, so inapulbul makaw come no place. How do you expect 28 officers to run this massive department? It's impossible. Madam Speaker, Deputy Speaker, enough yung miluklugot lo something na yung misinaw ni good past time. You cannot talk about downstream processing when we have 28 officers. First thing first. Puno mapin masinaw ni good office ng DPI. Inapin ko through the position na by looking machine by walk. Supposing of that, we will keep on backing in this chamber. Back as what we are doing now. 28 plaman by making one. 2018, we had a trip to Jiwaka. Madam Deputy Speaker. We go looking one community, you look out in poultry project, a very small community. Sorry, I forgot the place, the little setup, SME. They have their cool room, big black cool room. Only look out him chicken, only butcher him chicken, only package him, na only sell him no Hagen na inside Hagen City, na inside Jiwaka. A very small community, very small community. They have their packaging machine blow, everything is in place. You may look, law report, statement, law minister, I may talk law, how much we are buying from companies outside of Bougainville. Table beds. And 4 million yeah. Now, suppose you go down along all stores, law, here, no got kakaruk, law, fridges. Gone. There's not even one chicken or whatsoever. All the fridges are empty. People have the money to buy. They have the buying power, which is they have the money. Me sorry through time me look in this plan. Can we do the right thing, Madam Deputy Speaker? Look at this very important department, staff him all good, all the position where now and we put in place clearly you through here. It's a total of 138 officers who should be in the office, and we only have 28 officers. And we have a position vacant of 110 officers, a position still vacant. We cannot do much in this thing. Government decisions will never move. We will talk, by me talk antaplo decision blogaman, by me complain antaplongen, nothing will happen. All money is a moving walk. And this is a very important department, Madam Deputy Speaker, and the Honorable House. Can we do something very urgently now? Now, filling in all these all positions. Administrators look at this department, now make him work. You know this house by making, it is the administrative arm of the government. Do your job, advertise all the positions, now fill him up with them all man, all specialists, all these all positions, and they move the government decisions. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Member for Torokina.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me opportunity to put in the tinting on the statement of the DPI Minister. I think one time Honorable Speaker sipin talk finish. Me too, me agree with some of the talk working. Me just like contribute also on top of statement. Madam Speaker, thank you, Minister, long very comprehensive and detailed, brief and short statement. I think plenty something you mentioned, Minister, I'm in line through. Me like tok taso sem lo under prior to you, I think me agree. Plenty something lo side for DPI. And by need him some role. Come to offices, lo work one time. You can talk lo export. Lo one like one but the very important offices must be set. Me looking ikat plan long office for Nakia, I mean important too. So thank you, Minister. On the department, na customs, tayo me like bring him something ikam long nanapla, I mean no easy. I mean no easy blah. I mean no muri by down him na you carry me go house. So that's why this Nakia office, I mean must stop, Madam Speaker. Nakia na customs, they must be priority or setting before you me talk long or movement long or this or kakaruk na, this or something. So na two by involving, or workman to chemist, or line by treating or something you go move out. So Islami lagi mo sa mating, emi priority true by emi mas yumis kamani mas lukuluk lang em. Nakia office customs imi improve mo distana by product move because tayo mi like karim mo product, tempa imi karim ko lo sipya. Imi na karim natin or sem ombla pasol, so by mas ka treatment. So ikaton narapla. All livestock, all money working, kind of some plantiman, he can get, or can grow in Kakaruk farm, low place, but we know sabe lo side long inspecting all this la, emi also want buy got some implication, and more tinting me konto. Suppose sorry can kirim Kakaruk or peak tasona without any treatment, emi by all right, slakain tinting na like putianta. Kaya sa suppose me like okay wambra Kakaruk farm na mi kirim peak without any treatment or inspecting. Na ba imputim lo fridge na ba mi sa sarim. Di siya tinting emotion. That's why tayo mi tok lo siya too. Madam Speaker, important. Side rice farming ikato local money ko growing side lo food security but ino long mess one me but I think good pra sampla man to my start give him ground now long go big pra farming bro rice. Madam Speaker nara pra emosem one pra mi rukim minister iputim long side long rehabilitation bro kakao na kopra. I think I mean good planting. Me looking more some long plantations. All money o kapain finish all plantations. Lolo cacao plantations. Why not, Minister? You may put him to solo sa pama in proper way na all now work. They are working on that or rehabilitation course, but you may sa kaman, you may finding way na support mo na yung puti mo na proper way na yung may RP mo long or you can buy you can buy long also so money buy. So I'm good patintin lo koko rehabilitation instead of yung mixim yung mirausi mo na yung kisi mo lo islands ken no kam walk or line don narapla sorry no islands but or walk mana or some people bin sabay walk. Maybe sa area mo sa Bipo, mo narapala bisa walk or plantations. You mean na walk you roman but I walk lo pisa. So tinting mo sa Madam Speaker, I think me disprati lo side lo numano ba. Mo ko ta blocky all money walk stuff. So you put him on in proper way. You got members too inside the parliament, yeah, or you got block stuff. So, putim tasol in proper way, na imi fast tracking this commodity export. Emi au best, au proper, imi na gat this area export area. Emi angka mabiet long national government o emi like putin tinting. Because pantimani tok sem, Madam Speaker, imi why not imi direct export. But me like asking one map now emi pass lo imi work in this la. So me looking this la long. Yeah, I think in good plan. Tayo mi work in export, Madam Speaker. Same time Nakia office, custom office, ima set up. So that I think government have been working one good plus something too long. This current arrangement 70-30 ya emi kurang go. Emi progress. At least government is working part through the DPI long 70-30. Tayo mi go inside straight to export no, emi mi can kisi 100%. So thank you. Some of our challenges semi important through, especially staffing. And when you put more staff on one side too, emi funding more low staff, emi challenges. So our best we can work. This lot as well. I think narapa something one point as well. I think the DPI office, plenty staff, all line long, or in a field, or you can travel. Some district DPI officers, or in mass round na skuri moluman lo how monitoring will disla. So me category contribution lo puti mantap lo statement lo minister, Madam Speaker. So point me putim dasol you start putim office lo nagia improving na customs before you talk long lo export na disla. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Member for Baba.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Me too, me like commenting ministerial statement long Minister long DPI. Na me like toko sem impediment de mi start so long side long human resource capacity. Ose mi got approved position sem 138 na occupied now in 28. Suppose you like in this department blow you by move and human resource and big plus something. Now me ask him, Madam Speaker, Osem, Baba constituency, me got Boku DPI station. Now me like Minister must fund him no next year by DPI station Blomiro, Baba, Boku, and by Kirab na by me support him department blogging. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
And thank you, long honorable member. Only give him the display support long display. My approach to this statement is quite different from most of what Mipla Woklong talk long because a lot of these things that good Prime Minister may highlight him. They are all very, very common. Meeting also, Madam Deputy Speaker, you got very easy way long you may achieve him some or something that we being aspiring to achieve. And then I think when we work in collaboration with every stakeholders, and by you mean achieve him quickly. Some of these things, as some of the speakers have alluded to, they are recurring issues. Plenty time may being woklong tok long staffing, finance, and all these other things. But there are a couple of things that me like highlight him long here. As te me wokim some black question long question without notice. I think long inline man time display kind of thing when Mr. ask him, Mr. Nap long give him display thing and tap long display very important and very well constructed ministerial statement. Madam Deputy Speaker, Mr. Tingolsem, easy way long you me kirapin money is for us to engage one time all companies that are available. Long mi plalo department, mi sa looking department also department's primary role, lo working all good policies. It's not really to have the department long go sourcing big plan money. No, God. Ever since me sit down long yan, plenty time me scrutinize him all ministerial statement, me sa looking they are all miss him this la point here. We cannot achieve things in that way, Madam Speaker. We cannot have the department raise him big money na expecting government long kisim this money. No, it doesn't work that way. The equation is, you may work him all policies lo allow him all company long come set up. Now company by working money na by tax go long government. Simple, very very simple. So long me. Plantel something when we work long talk long here requires the department to have those laws and policies that are necessary. Long all company long comes in down. Having said that, plenty or something where good Prime Minister outline him, and we need him what we call enablers. Enablers. Enablers make things work, Madam Speaker. Number one enabler, good policies and regulations. Number two enabler, utilities, powers, water, sanitations. You kisim kakaruk na look out him. They all chicken, and you need him 24/7 power, yeah. Electricity, water. Look at that is something. You cannot have this capacity long here. Time you got every 5 minutes blackout long here. It doesn't work. So long me, we need to have that outlook where you must go na talk one time. Sampla companies that only got interest long come invest long here. Madam Speaker, me being long career life blow me spending plenty time long lay lo PNG long Unitec, and then we used to Mr. looking more companies come working a roadshow long one important roadshow sa call Morobe show. And for me, think blow me is you need long approach mo isla companies like Mainland Holdings, na Senec, now get isla companies. Usat only got this la capacity finish. Suppose only got interest long come na got partnership one time ABC na set up long ya land and one play important the enabler to that you need long relation. Because all get agricultural growth happens on top long ground. And we have a lot of land here that we need long unlocking. And I believe the good Minister for Lands is working very hard. Starting with Arawa. Me looking recently long social media is talking, just going out, and we got this mandate long and we start long mobilize na talking more man long, free up the land. And this is very important. So to me, this notion or the idea of us having all department long working big plan impact when no, and by no God. We need the department long realigning all at one time all good policies. Now get the entities, the companies that only need long working na producing all this product that we are talking about. Departments do not produce they do not produce things on a mass scale. 260 million and companies are working, department. So we need to get our mindset correct. Otherwise, we are missing the whole point, Madam Speaker. And I'm very serious. You may need more enablers in Bougainville, make sure economy and must grow. And you can count them up to Amaspla, enablers. Law and order, one ply enabler. Ground and one ply enabler. Power and utilities and one ply enabler. Road and one ply enabler. Suppose you know fixing all this law. It calls, of course, an holistic approach to make sure that these things happen. And by no God, the equation is very simple. Companies make money, they pay taxes to government, and investors or shareholders get that dividend. And a very simple equation. It is not that department only produce things on mass scale, no God. Departments are here to make sure that the laws and policies guide him on this line. There are, taxes and all fees that only buy him, naka money collecting. So you may need long start, long talk long all companies. If we're talking about chicken, poultry, farming, and all farming of day-old chicks, we need to start to approach, start long go and approaching all companies that deal with these things. And then find some MOU, talk one time all, sit down one time all, find some understanding, na ask him all suppose only like long set up here long Bougainville. I think in that way and by easy. Before me finish, me just noting one click issue that Minister, maybe you can take note that you need long correct him or maybe just take note long here. In your department, we have a forestry and climate change. Now, the approved positions along this slide is 13. Currently, we only occupied, that position is occupied by only 4 people. You got big play issue long national government between the forestry, na climate change, na line long conservation. They don't seem to work one time, especially when fundings are come. So this is a big issue that me like before me get out of hand, you must sort him long here. My humble admonition is, today long this government, you make him fisheries na climate change long narabla directorate. You could rouse him this climate change na larim narabla directorate to make your work very simple. No good them by sa heart. But long future, this forestry na climate change only need long go one time. I'll tell you the reason why. Money also kisim long look out in ground na and bush. It's a forestry kind of mapping also walking. But all forestry don't have giving information go along all climate change. All by talk all same no God. Me pla papa long look out in bush ya. Me pla don't have giving you this data. Long forestry lo ibla long ibla go na claiming money long em. This is where the issue is antab long sepa na CCDA. Me like him ibla sit down na straight him this issue because last time me being minister, climate change he come na he go straight long department lo you. Na department of climate change inside lowlands he complain. No, this is where the department is. Okay, me come looking president and president talk. No, Department of Climate Change, me stop one time, let's now you look out him long up. Today, I believe that member for Atoll, she is the Climate Change Minister and Fisheries. You need to agree on where this climate change must stop. But behind, you need long straight team. Me believe, suppose forestry, and me stop one time climate change by easy. Because suppose you separate him all by bite. Today, last government, we were very lucky long secure one project called him Chef 8. Currently, me look at all officers law must be money ready and big plan money. Bougainville one plan long. Me like me placing down na so team this issue out no good behind and by get out of hand. I thank you.
Leader of Government Business.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Honorable members, the December session most times and big business blow this time budget. Now you mo debating more statement, I am waiting budget come or printing budget lo most will come inside. We want to give some time to all the ministers to make their statement. No utimi debate mo ang plus statement tason na ba mo so pa mi putim question to be put lo this last statement na pa minister I make him statement. Honorable Madam Speaker, me like moving that a question be put long statement long minister now all debate take place long this plus statement long minister. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honorable members, the question is that the question be put. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. Ayes have it. Move on. Honorable members, I now call upon the mover to reply to the comments.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. May taking my boga talk reply. Yes, lo climate change. Yes, may one cross-cutting issue. Lo here me talk lo positions that's all. I'm still stawant me pla. Bian bam bla larim lo office blong fishery shem no one met. But me talk sa was position stawant me pla yel and lo forestry. But thank you through all comments all members. All gonna work. Staff. Thank you long. Member lo swir talk long downstream processing. Yes, downstream processing. I think we last plus something. You can look at one plus big plus something. We put him lo civic education. Long seedlings to the processing. Me like him next year by awareness go. Now me like him over the standard payment trees. Must come up. And by next year I'm like a remote. But we want to start somewhere. Nothing. Downstream process and start thinking. Maybe we work for the quality and the quantity past them, and then we can go for that export and then downstream processing. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Madam Speaker, His Excellency the President of the Adanus region of Bougainville, Right Honorable Ismail Torwama, Vice President and Member Patonsu, Honorable Iskal Masad, Ministers of the Torwama Masad government, and all colleague members of this Honorable House, my warm greetings to all of you. Madam Speaker, it is with great honor and privilege to stand before you today in the second session of the 5th House of the House of Reps Parliament sitting to deliver my ministerial statement on our focus for the next 5 years and beyond. Madam Speaker, as we are aware, this ministry was previously known as the Ministry of Technical Services, but has now been rebranded as the Ministry and Department of Infrastructure and Utilities. Madam Speaker, before I deliver my speech, I want to first of all take this opportune time to thank the outgoing Minister, Honorable Joseph Mona, and all other ministers who have gone before him for their leadership and valued contributions and services rendered to the people of Bougainville when they served as ministers. We acknowledge their valuable contributions and do wish them well in their current pursuits. Madam Speaker, I would also like to thank my people of Halia constituency and pay my deepest respect and tribute to them for their unwavering support, their commitment, confidence, and trust in my leadership, hence retaining me as their mandated leader with an absolute majority primary mandate in this 5th House to be the legitimate voice on this floor of this Honorable House. The people have spoken, and therefore I humbly call upon all citizens of Halia constituency to work together with me as a team to continue to develop our constituency. We have done very well, and we all need to push on to continue to bring more developments and make Halia a more progressive and resilient society. Madam Speaker, I also express my sincere gratitude to the Honorable President Torwama for believing in me and trusting me by allocating me a ministerial portfolio in the Torwama Masad government as the Minister for Infrastructure, and Utilities. I personally thank him for entrusting in me with the responsibility to lead this very important ministry and its department with its wide mandate to manage, implement, and monitor critical nation-building infrastructure for the new nation of the independent Republic of North Solomons. Madam Speaker, I believe in myself and my innate abilities, and therefore will live up to the President's expectations of me. Madam Speaker, I take this time also to thank the Bougainville Electoral Commissioner and his hard-working officers, plus the many volunteers who were involved in this year's election for their tireless efforts they have put into the conduct of the 2025 ABG general elections. Although we have had some issues and challenges encountered during the conduct of this year's general election, we still did very well, much better than how elections have been conducted in other provinces in PNG, where tribal differences, warfare, and deaths related to elections have continuously caused violence, pain, destruction of public and private properties, and sufferings of their people after the elections. My sincere congratulations goes to the OPEC Commissioner and his team for the successful outcome of the elections. I also thank and commend the people of Bougainville for their maturity in upholding electoral laws and generally the rule of law during election time. Mandate and role of the department. Madam Speaker, the mandate and role of the Department of Infrastructure and Utilities carries a critical responsibility in terms of planning, developing, and maintaining of Bougainville's essential public infrastructure. These include the upgrading and sealing of our roads, bridges, forts, jetties, airports, airstrips, buildings, energy, and the water and sanitation systems. These infrastructure assets are the backbone of our economic growth, service delivery, and connectivity across the Bougainville regions and islands. Madam Speaker, the department's mandate also includes the coordination of public utilities and infrastructure-related programs across all levels of governments in ensuring that all of these are aligned with the ABG's long-term Vision 2052, the BSIDP, the DIU's 5-year corporate plan, and the Bougainville Transport Infrastructure Master Plan. Madam Speaker, when I made the final edit on my ministerial statement, I became aware of what the former minister, Honorable Dr. Cho Kim, used to say in this house while referring to the department. He spoke openly about the staff of the department being corrupt and were receiving 10% under the table as favors, bribes, or kickbacks from contractors. He labeled or branded the department as the epicenter of corruption. The most interesting part of it, which usually amazed me, was that he used to say it with a lot of passion, energy, and more so without any guilt, remorse, or whatsoever. And I could see that he believed in what he said. Minister Mona, who later replaced him, was more controlled. He had his very strong views on corruption, but was more controlled and diplomatic. For me, Madam Speaker, as the new minister under the Toroma Masad government, I don't see it that way. I don't see the department as the epicenter of corruption. I see them as human beings like you and me. I see specialized professionals. I see specialized technical people working from their own specialized engineering fields who need a good leader who could lead them to use their talents, abilities, knowledge, and skills to produce the best outcomes of what all of us in government and the people of Bougainville expect of them. Madam Speaker, I see an institution that needs guidance, mentoring, and leadership. Madam Speaker, that is exactly what I will do. I will ensure that the Secretary and myself provide the political and administrative leadership required to build up the department to fully utilize the knowledge and skills to move this department to the next level. In this regard, Madam Speaker, I appeal to the Senior Appointment Committee as a matter of urgency to immediately recruit a good feminine secretary for the Department of Infrastructure and Utilities. If you don't, then how can you expect me to deliver as a minister within the first 6 months of this government? I cannot make things happen without a good secretary, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, if there are corruption issues, perceived or real, in the Department of DIU, we will address them in line with the President's statement or commitment on good governance. To members of this Honorable House, the public at large, if you have any complaints against any of our department officers, put those reports in writing to me. If you have evidence, do put forward those evidence as well, so that I can act through the secretary. Know that I don't have the powers to sack any officers, but I can indirectly do it in consultation with the secretary to deal with them and discipline them through the process outlined in the Public Service General Orders. Madam Speaker, my ministerial and departmental staff will also be tasked to look at ways on how best they can improve on delivering programs and projects in a transparent and accountable manner to the satisfaction of our leaders and all our people, both in urban and rural settings. Madam Speaker, I will not go into details on projects update here, but will continue to highlight the major big picture policies of my department, ministries and departments planned in the next 5 years. The Bougainville Transport Infrastructure Master Plan. Madam Speaker, the department has been working with DPAT Australia in the last few years to develop the Bougainville Transport Infrastructure Master Plan for Bougainville. It is a blueprint that will redefine our region's transport network through enhanced connectivity, robust maintenance, and improved emergency responses. This plan is designed to unite all communities and link urban centers, remote regions, our valued atolls, and to ensure no part of Bougainville is left behind. Through this initiative, we are empowering every community to harness economic opportunities. The plan is in its final draft stage, and under my leadership, we should launch it in my first 6 months while in office. The Bougainville Main Trunk Road. Madam Speaker, the Bougainville National Highways, inclusive Buka Island and the mainland Bougainville roads, as per the National Works and Highways data, indicates that the overall length of those roads is 593.43 kilometers. Currently, the total length of kilometers sealed already is 208.30 kilometers, while the total unsealed section of roads amounts to 385.13 kilometers yet to be sealed. Madam Speaker, road development is very important to improve the people's livelihoods, increase business activities, create easy access to market, shops, hospitals, clinics, more so, makes traveling on our roads more comfortable and faster. The sealing of all our roads will result, Madam Speaker, in achieving the Ministry and Department of Infrastructure and Utilities independence-ready goals of sealing all or most of our roads by 2027 and beyond. As Minister, Madam Speaker, I want to see the remaining unsealed 385.13 kilometers of major trunk roads in each region of Bougainville sealed within the next 5 years. We will develop a policy within the next 6 months to make it official with the intention of sealing a certain section of roads for Buka Island, mainland North Bougainville, Central Bougainville, and South Bougainville every year starting next year. This means road sealing extension exercise each year will be conducted for Buka, North Bougainville mainland, Central and Southern region trunk roads. 3, feeder roads infrastructure development. Madam Speaker, feeder roads, I believe, are the bloodline of our nation's economy, and these are very important for the new nation's socio-economic development across all regions in Bougainville. The builders, Madam Speaker, of this nation live and toil 365 days a year, carrying on their backs cocoa bags, copra bags, vegetables, sweet potatoes, taros, bananas, roofing iron, and the endless list flows like a river to the sea. Madam Speaker, during election time, ballot boxes full of election polls promises trouble deep into these hell-forgotten roads. But after elections, we live like our votes and re-elections matter more than the lives of those neglected people who live on the periphery of life. Madam Speaker, Bougainvilleans who live in our rural, Bougainvillean lives who live in the rural communities matter. All feeder roads in Bougainville, Madam Speaker, lead to economic activity. They lead to cocoa blocks, they lead to coconut blocks, they lead to balsa blocks, they lead to family gardens, they lead to where people live. And I don't need to remind all of us that people are our #1 economic assets that must be harnessed. Worthy to note that some of these feeder roads lead to villages of highly educated Bougainvilleans and leaders who have contributed immensely to Bougainville's political and socio-economic developments. As Minister, in my first ministerial statement here, I declare all feeder roads on Bougainville as economic feeder roads. This is to ensure that all feeder roads are treated fairly, equally, and are given equal attention by our Toroma Masat government. Mr. Speaker, experience has shown us that classifications of feeder roads as non-economic feeder roads have led to justified neglect of this economic lifeblood of our nation. Today, this neo-colonistic attitude must come to an end. All feeder roads will now be developed into all-weather road conditions under the Toroma Masat government. Madam Speaker, with this I appeal to all ABG members to use their development grants wisely and invite the region's national MPs to use their DSIP and PSIP components to counterpart with donors to improve their feeder road systems. Many of these roads have not been upgraded for years now and has led to unnecessary suffering that has caused our people to complain a lot because they must walk and carry their goods to and from the main highways, which takes several hours to reach. This area will be looked into and addressed by our DU technical team located in each region. Madam Speaker, in joining together into independence, my department will develop the Bougainville main highway sealing policy and also oppositely do up a feeder roads policy to fully realize my ministerial declaration as to how feeder roads can be adequately funded each year. Missing link connectivity, Madam Speaker. There are missing link roads networks inaccessible throughout the 4 regions of Bougainville. An example of this kind of missing link road is the Kunua-Kereka road system and the Buka West Coast Road coming from Karula to Tung at Tonsu constituency. I am pretty certain, Madam Speaker, that other leaders will want their missing link roads done up as well. Consult your DIU staff in your region or your constituency to be assisted there. You identify that road to be scoped and work out the estimated cost for it with our regional DIU officer. Madam Speaker, all members of this House must take note that the scope of works for all projects must be done by the officers at DIU because of the unnecessary inflated costings added on to the submissions by contractors. Madam Speaker, while talking about our Bougainville national highways and feeder roads, I am also reminded of the plight of our atolls, brothers and sisters. Since ABG's inception in 2005, we tried some quick fix solutions, opting to buy second-hand ships that have not lasted. We bought the MB Sanakamap 2, MB Ravois, and lately MB Tolele. Mr. Speaker, we do recognize our leaders' tireless efforts and good intentions. However, despite those good intentions, our people in the atolls have continued to suffer as a result of the decisions we have made. A lot of people have been lost at sea, and the emerging threat of sea piracy also poses greater risks than before to our people. Experience, Madam Speaker, as they say, is the best teacher because it teaches us the hard lessons of life you cannot learn in the classroom. With the benefit of experience as Minister for Transport, I say enough is enough. The ABG under my watch will not buy any more second-hand ships. We started well last year when we assisted the member for Nissan to buy a small new ship. However, it's still too small and cannot meet the required transport needs of our atolls people. I understand our regional member, Honorable Chemalili, is working on one new ship. and Honorable Francisca Semaso, member for North Bougainville, is also probably working to get another new ship as well. Madam Speaker, proper coordination is needed between all of us leaders. We must avoid competition and duplication, but instead promote collaboration. My ministry and department will work to collaborate with all leaders of Bougainville to safeguard our people's safe transport interest. We must not politicize their suffering, but genuinely address them by way of purchasing a new ship for the atolls and seafaring communities. We are spending millions of kina to build roads, but by the same token, we must also, without hesitation, be able and willing to spend millions of kina to buy a new quality ship for the people of atolls and other seafaring communities on Bougainville. That we will do, Madam Speaker. Bridges on wet crossings in our main highways. Madam Speaker, within the next 5 years, we intend to build bridges in all the wet crossings throughout the main highways on Bougainville. Madam Speaker, good news to the people of South Bougainville. I met with DPAT officials here in Buka and also in POM while attending the JSB meeting, following up on our 2 bridges which they were going to help us construct. DPAT officials informed me that the Tabera Bridge construction is well on track. There has been a small delay, but a contractor, Dekenai Construction, should construct and complete the bridge by the end of January 2026. For the Fangara Bridge, the site investigation is now complete and now entering into the design phase. The tender is expected to go to market in January of 2026. Madam Speaker, in the meantime, travelers in and out of South Bougainville are advised not to take unnecessary risks to cross flooded rivers. Madam Speaker, with a heart full of gratitude, I take this time to thank the government and people of Australia for their generosity and sincerely thank them for assisting us to build roads and bridges. Bougainville Power and Water Corporation. Madam Speaker, as many will recall, Bougainville and Water Corporation was established through a BEC decision by the Toro Manisira government in 2021 to manage electricity water service in Bougainville with a clear mandate to push for energy independence, renewable energy development, and rural electrification. Each operation is guided by 2 important policies, the Bougainville Energy Policy and the PNG MTDA-4. Under these policies, we aim to provide electricity access to 70% of households by 2030. Ultimately, it is our objective to ensure our people receive affordable, accessible, reliable, and sustainable energy to boost economic growth and improve their livelihoods. Accordingly, Madam Speaker, Bougainville Power is focusing its operations to achieving the above goal on 3 fronts. 1, by assisting in strengthening and reinforcing the electricity infrastructure on our national grids. Secondly, we will be refocusing on extending electricity to rural and remote areas through the mini and off-grid programs. And thirdly, we will push for energy independence through a transitional MOU with PNG Power Limited. Let me elaborate, Madam Speaker, that under the national grid sector, we have power plants that operate these grids, 1 in Buka, another 1 in Arawa, and before the crisis, 1 in Buin. Except for Buin, Buka and Arawa are currently being managed by PNG Power Limited. 7, mini grids or off-grids. Bougainville's effort to provide power to rural and remote parts of Bougainville lies in a well-coordinated and managed mini or off-grid policy and program. Bougainville Power and Water Corporation is working closely with the National Energy Office to put together its policy and get BEC endorsement before proceeding. Projects under this program will include power plants upgrade to 500 kilowatts from mostly renewable energy, including solar, hydro, geothermal, with strong local participation. More information will be made available to members of this Honorable House and the public in the new year. Madam Speaker, we acknowledge that some members already started discussions with BPWCL on such programs. We encourage all to work closely together so that programs are long-lasting. and beneficial to all parties concerned. Finally, Madam Speaker, I want to inform the House that BP, WCL, and ABG, through the Office of the Chief Secretary, have already started discussing on the transfer of powers and functions from PNG Power Limited to the ABG and ultimately to BP, WCL. Chief Secretary Nane has handed over a draft MOU to the management of PPL this year and are awaiting PPL's response. We are hopeful that once signed, we will see transfer completed by the end of 2027. Madam Speaker, the Buka grid based in Kubu provides 2.3 megawatts to each consumers in Buka, Allen, and parts of Selao constituency. The Kieta or Arawa grid provides 1.3 megawatts to the township of Arawa and nearby communities. The Buin grid is non-operational, but the Buin community have taken on their initiative to establish their own power plant. However, have faced many challenges to provide consistent and reliable services. This is due to high fuel costs, spare parts availability, and funding constraint. Fortunately, with the assistance and generosity of donors, 1 megawatt solar power plant has been recently constructed, launched, and commissioned by the Bougainville Power and is now on trial operation. Madam Speaker, we intend to work with PNG Power in the next 5 years to increase Buka from 2.3 megawatts to 6 megawatts. Arawa will be increased from 1.3 megawatts to 6 megawatts, and Buin upgrade from 1 megawatt to 5 megawatts. Rural and remote subcenters will be powered through the mini-grid strategy. This is very important because we need to provide power, especially to those in the mountains, coastal and island communities who cannot connect to the main grid. They will be connected through solar power, windmill, and hydropower wherever they live. Large projects like BCL, Madam Speaker, will cater for their own power needs. If they have excess power to supply, BPWC will enter into an agreement to supply this to the public within the project area at subsidized cost and rates. 8. Bougainville water policy. Madam Speaker, water is life. It is essential for humans, plants, and animal survival. As a responsible government of a new nation, we need to develop an overarching policy to provide safe cooking, drinking, washing, and sanitation needs for the population of Bougainville in both our townships and rural communities in order to avoid deadly waterborne diseases. On the big picture, we need to immediately address the water and sanitation needs of our 3 main regional townships, or let's call them cities to be, in our new nation. Currently, it is a sad case of every man for himself or every business for themselves, especially in the case of Buka, the temporary headquarters of the Republic of North Solomons. We intend to, in the next 3 years, set targets to address the water and sanitation needs of Buka Township, Arawa Township, and Buin Township. We have abundant water resources that we can utilize to address them now. Madam Speaker, we must also, as a government, address water and sanitation needs of our rural villages and our atolls communities as well. That will be addressed through a comprehensive Bougainville water policy that our department will work on. Madam Speaker, water is also a resource for revenue generation. I think in the 2026 budget, we have budgeted for 3 possible hydropower plants. Establishment costs, they will or can generate hydropower with its power supply to the same users who consume water. We will also work with the Department of Commerce and Trade to develop commercial water bottling facilities for revenue generation similar in nature to the Toniba water bottling factory. 9. Seaport development for Buka, Kieta, and Buin. Madam Speaker, as the Independence Day draws nearer, it is of critical importance that we prioritize developing our seaport facilities in anticipating of facilitating increased domestic and international trade between Bougainville and other sovereign states. We need, 1, a transshipment port strategically positioned to serve as a vital logistic hub for cargo movement connecting Asia, Australia, New Zealand, PNG, and the wider Pacific region. 2, a fisheries port designed to fully harness the region's abundant maritime resources. promote sustainable aquaculture, and strengthen regional food security. And 3, tourism port to act as a gateway for visitors, providing essential infrastructure like terminals, docks, and services for cruise ships and yachts, stimulating the local economies through job creation and business, and offering seamless access to regional attractions, effectively turning maritime entry points into vibrant economic and cultural hubs for tourists, travelers, and our local populace. Madam Speaker, within this strategic vision, the development of Kieta, Buka, and Buin Wharves is a strategic initiative central to the economic vision of the autonomous Bougainville government. It will specifically involve the establishment of 3 major maritime facilities. In our medium and long-term vision to upgrade our 3 wharves, namely Kieta, Buka, and Buin, within the next 5 years and beyond. The fisheries port could possibly, because of its proximity to our maritime resources, to be developed on Nisan Island. Collectively, Madam Speaker, these facilities will anchor the autonomous region of Bougainville as a pivotal gateway for trade, fisheries, tourism, logistics, and sustainable economic growth in the Asia-Pacific region and the world. This strategic vision, Madam Speaker, will together be implemented with the SOE Department of the President. Madam Speaker, our ports are also still under PNG ports, and so we will negotiate with them on the drawdown of powers and functions for their ownership, maintenance, and upgrading of those maritime facilities. Airports and airstrips, Madam Speaker, airports connect people and goods globally, support local economies through jobs and business attractions, and also act as vital staging grounds for disaster relief and medical services. Airports are large facilities with terminals, control towers, extensive runways, and full amenities for commercial air transport. Airstrips are basic open, unpaved, or simple landing strips, typical for small light aircrafts with minimal facilities. On Bougainville, Madam Speaker, we have 2 big airports, Buka and Aropa, that connect us to PNG and the global community. We also have a good number of airstrips. Currently, upgrading work is being done at Aropa Airport. Once again, we thank the national government for that important infrastructure upgrade. Our immediate important priority of focus is on the realignment and extension of the Buka Airport runway by another 500 to 1,000 meters in the next 5 years. As we speak, Madam Speaker, negotiations are currently underway to achieve that target. Madam Speaker, we welcome the arrival of MAF, who are working with our department to reopen all airstrips on Bougainville. Central Government Office. Madam Speaker, one of the areas which the department will seriously research and plan around as a long-term initiative is where to build a central government office complex to cater for all government departments and ministries to be located to one central location only. Government services needs to be centralized into one area so that we can save so much money that we are currently spending in renting privately owned properties in the 4 regions of Bougainville. Housing. Madam Speaker, we need to ensure citizens have access to safe, affordable, and adequate housing by developing sound policies, recognizing housing as a fundamental right, thus creating incentives, home ownership loans, managing public housing, and improving living conditions, and ultimately supporting socio-economic growth. Madam Speaker, we may have policies for public servants housing, but I believe we do not have a Bougainville housing policy. I do believe we do not have a Bougainville housing policy for its citizens. We intend to address this major policy gap in this term of government. 13, ICT, technology and communication. Madam Speaker, the autonomous government of Bougainville and the PNG National Government of ICT signed an MOU in late November 2025 to boost digital development in Bougainville, focusing on ICT sector audits, policy creation, capacity, building research, attracting investment, and establishing a framework for collaboration to build a modern digital ecosystem for governance and service delivery. The strategic importance of this MOU is that it recognizing ICT as a vital tool for effective governance, economic development, and achieving Bougainville's long-term political goals. It supports Bougainville business to build a secure digital ecosystem and aims to translate this cooperation into actionable work plans, aligning with national development and Bougainville Peace Agreement. It signifies the national government's ongoing support for Bougainville's independence aspirations and development. This will be also a focus for the next 5 years. Madam Speaker, presidential projects. Madam Speaker, our President has very important projects that he wants us to implement in specific areas within the autonomous region of Bougainville. His projects will be given priority, and therefore, I would like to assure the Honorable President that we will work with his project management team led by Mr. Anthony Kevin to implement his priority projects. We will try to ensure also that the department is reorganized to be responsive to the development needs and the aspirations of all people of Bougainville and their leaders. Performance audit for all contractors. Madam Speaker, my department will conduct a performance audit of all our contractors on Bougainville that have been engaged by the department in the last term of the Toroma Nisira government. Those found to have failed to perform and meet their contractual agreements or obligations will not be given any more contracts. 16, collaboration with the national works here in Buka. It is critical, Madam Speaker, that my department continues to work closely in consultation with the National Works Office here to facilitate and implement Connect PNG road projects and also tax credit scheme projects announced by the Prime Minister in our recent CSB meeting in Port Moresby. Concluding remarks, Madam Speaker, to achieve all the above, my ministry and its department intends to collaborate with all our traditional partners. We will also welcome new friends who are willing to lend a helping hand to the people of Bougainville. We will also collaborate with our National Works counterparts in their Buka office and Go PNG to build our road infrastructure under the Connect PNG program, as well as the tax credit scheme recently announced by the PM Marape and the recent CSB in Port Moresby. In such collaboration, Madam Speaker, BC on Friday, 12th of December 2025 approved the sealing of a 10-kilometer stretch of road from Ton to Chabai at the Selao constituency section of the main Bougainville Highway. A big thank you to the PNG government for the assistance. I also take this time to thank the government and the people of Australia, Japan, New Zealand, and other donors for their continued support and development assistance to the people of Bougainville, and pledge to continue to work within the spirit of mutual trust and cooperation in the next 5 years. Madam Speaker, in the next session of Parliament in 2026, my statement before this Honorable House will focus on updates on ongoing and current development programs and projects which my department is currently engaged with, and the major ones to be done in 2026 and beyond. Madam Speaker, I will now end my ministerial statement by reaffirming my commitment as Minister to lead the ministry and the department with purpose, integrity and accountability and vision for the betterment of our people and the future of an independent Republic of North Solomons. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, as we have gone past lunch already too, Madam Speaker, I move that the House take note of the statement by the Minister for Infrastructure and Utilities, and that the debate of the statement will take place after lunch. But first of all, honorable members, the President's statement will take the first priority after the lunch, and then we'll continue on with Minister Nisira's statement. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
All those against say no. I have it. Honorable members, since it is after 12 already, I suspend the sitting until 2:20 p.m. So, honorable members, sitting is suspended until 2 p.m.
And there you have it, listeners and viewers. That was the Parliament session for today, being Wednesday, the 17th of December 2025, bringing our time to 23 past 12 Bougainville time. And yes, this is the second day of the last Parliament sitting for this year 2025. The first day of the sitting was yesterday, where it was an hour session, started at 2:30 and ended at 3:30 Bougainville time, in which we had questions without notice, where the members raised questions to ministers, ministers responsible that attended to the questions. So that was our first session yesterday, and today, being Wednesday, we had ministerial statements that were read out this morning, starting with the statement from the President, Honorable Ishmael Torwama, who made his statement with regard to the last JSB meeting that was held in Port Moresby, what the outcomes were, and where the Bougainville government stands. President had mentioned this in his ministerial statement. Following that statement, we had the Minister for Primary Industries, Honorable Clarence Dempsey, who made his ministerial statement presenting the achievements of the Department of Primary Industries, the challenges and the way forward, giving a background of what the department or the ministry is faced with. So this was the statement made by Honorable Clarence Dempsey. Following this statement, there was a debate from around the room, where members of the Bougainville House of Representatives were able to debate on his statement. Unfortunately, the President's statement didn't have extra copies, and so debate on the President's statement was moved to a later date. So when the copies are circulated, then the debate on the President's statement will be done probably later this afternoon when the House resumes. That we will find out soon. And after the ministerial statement from Honorable Clarence Dempsey, we just had the statement from the Minister for Infrastructure and Utilities, Honorable Patrick Nisira, who read out the statements from his ministry. If you've just joined us and you're not sure what ministry this is, this was formerly known as the Technical Services Department, Technical Services. It's been changed. The name of that department has been changed to Infrastructure and Utilities, and Honorable Patrick Nisira is the new minister, or is the minister for this ministry. And so we just had a statement from Honorable Patrick Nisira, giving a rundown of infrastructure developments in the region, what challenges they are faced with, what they've accomplished, and what they look forward to accomplish as the year begins, probably towards the end of the year now, but what they hope to accomplish once the new year starts. So that was statement from Honorable Patrick Nisira. And as the Deputy Speaker, Honorable Rose P.A. had mentioned, the debates this morning had gone past the lunch hour, and so the House is suspended for now to allow for the members to have their lunch. Should resume at should return at 2 p.m. this afternoon. So if you've just joined us, or if you had been in tune with us since the morning, we thank you so much for your company and for being with us. Very quickly before we leave for break, very quickly, the last sitting of the year is always about the presenting of the budget for 2026. Unfortunately, we are still waiting for the budget book to be brought in. It is being printed in Port Moresby and should be arriving soon. And so, whilst awaiting the arrival of the budget book, we the members are being given the opportunity to make ministerial statements or present reports. And if you followed us since the morning, there were no reports from committees or members. And so the ministers who had their statements ready were given the opportunity to present their statements. And like I mentioned, so far we have heard 3 statements being presented here at the chambers this morning, and hopefully tomorrow, or not hopefully, but once the budget books are here, tomorrow, Thursday, we should have the presentation of the budget for 2026 and the debate on the budget as well. So that should be happening tomorrow once we have the budget book at hand. But otherwise, thank you so much wherever you may be tuning in from. We thank you so much for your company, and we look forward to joining you when the House resumes at 2 p.m. this afternoon.